Welcome back, everybody. Season 1, episode 2 of the Tweener podcast, directly after Raw 30, RAWXXX. Now, in this episode, we're going to be diving into that, of course, but we also going to be talking about my predictions of the WWE Hall of Fame. I say stay tuned to that because I guarantee you guys, I know at least one person guaranteed to be in the WWE Hall of Fame this year, and there have been no reports, no dirt sheets, no rumors, no nothing. I just know it in my spirit, in my gut, that they are going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame this year, guaranteed. But you all just stay tuned and you'll hear the rest of my predictions as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, of course, show your support, like, subscribe, comment. I am also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. And I upload to my Twitch channel, which is Memphian Plays. It's a gaming channel, but I also upload these videos to my Twitch channel as well. Help us grow our channel. This is for us, by us. And last but not least, if you want to be on this podcast, this is your official invitation to the Tweener podcast. Hit me up at podcasttweener@gmail.com or just drop your information in the comments. I will reach out to you, guaranteed, and you are guaranteed to be on an episode of the Tweener podcast. Only if you got to come in here cool. You can't be on that bullshit, all that extra stuff, disrespectful, can't be racist, none of that shit. But if you just want to talk wrestling and play a couple of like little, 20 questions and stuff, this is the podcast for you, all right? This is your official invitation, but let's get into it, all right? RAWXXX. Let's go. RAWXXX was a pretty solid show. I give it a B+. It met my expectations, but I did not, and I shame anyone who might have went into the show with high expectations. I mean, we're gonna talk about what I think were the high points for me, and then we're just gonna work our way down the ladder. And number one, to me, the biggest moment was, of course, you guys know where I'm going, the Undertaker Bray Wyatt moment. I almost called this man Zack Ryder, but LA Knight moment. That moment. Oh my God! Wow! Was the moment that so many of us wanted a long time ago when it was the Fiend. I know I did. When Bray Wyatt was like at his Fiend peak. I wanted that moment so bad. I wanted that passing of the torch moment, and that is what that was on RAWXXX. And while watching RAWXXX as well, I was so fearful that it was gonna feel like a Vince McMahon product, but it actually didn't, surprisingly. I feel like if Vince was completely in charge, that moment never would have happened. But I absolutely loved it. I mean, I hate that there was the American Badass Undertaker and not the Dead Man Undertaker, with the mythical energy and stuff like that. And then Bray Wyatt in his Fiend character like that. Like, I wish it was like that part, but outside of that, no complaints, man. For real, no complaints. That was a beautiful moment, and I was so happy. Now, the Undertaker did leave. I mean, like, LA Knight came out, talked his shit. Undertaker came out, basically shut him down. LA Knight got in the ring, made his way up the ramp. Bray Wyatt came out, forced him back into the ring. Undertaker kinda hesitated on a chokeslam, threw him to Bray Wyatt. Sister Abigail. Undertaker whispered something in Bray Wyatt's ear. The fans was going crazy. Holy shit, of course. And I don't know. I don't know if WWE is gonna really play off that whisper and make it like, what did he whisper? Or is it just a moment where it wasn't really part of the plan? Undertaker just decided to give him some words of wisdom, and then that was it. So I don't know, but I really enjoyed that moment. The number two moment for me was, I guess I can say, the DX and Imperium. Now, me, like few people, I don't think I've even met anybody that was an Imperium that is an Imperium fan. Like, I'm a big Imperium fan. I'm a big Gunther. I call him Gunther, but I think his name is Gunther. I'm a big Gunther fan as well, too. So that's the reason why I really rock with Imperium. I just like that whole presentation, really. And then they can get down in the ring, too. So I just really like them. So we had an Imperium and a DX moment. It was very Attitude Era feeling. Kurt Angle came out. he gave us the comedic part of it. Wanted to be a DX member. I mean, who didn't want to fucking be a DX member, though? So Kurt Angle came out. Put his 2 cents in, trying to join DX. I mean, we've already had a lot of unofficial members of DX anyway, so why not, you know? But DX came out. They did the DX type of promo that we all expected. Seth Rollins came out. They was like, well, we're all retired, and pretty much broke down. So Seth Rollins came out after that. They were like, who can we get to fight? Seth Rollins came out. Crowd had a nice little pop to it. The Street Profits came out, who I am a fan of, but the pop wasn't as big as Seth Rollins, of course. It was okay. By default, to be honest, that was the second biggest, I guess, wow thing to me, you know, while watching RAWXXX. Like I said, it was a B+ show, you know, and it met my expectations. I was still excited to see it, though. I was very excited. But here's what my major critique is, and that's kind of rolling into number 3. Number 3 for me, as far as moments for RAWXXX, was the Tribal Court. Now, this is where I was disappointed, and this is really the only part I was disappointed in with that show. Is I honestly really wanted the Tribal Court to be a lot of other Samoans in the ring, a lot of other, you know, the actual Bloodline people in the ring with Sammy and the Bloodline. I can't drop them by name. Outside of Rikishi, I would have liked to see Rikishi in the ring. And Rikishi, it would be like, I guess Roman could be the judge. I was going to say Rikishi being the judge, but I actually think I would have been more entertained by it if, I don't know if you guys remember a segment a long time ago where Vince, it was like Raw Court, and Vince was like in a robe, and he was like, it was an actual courtroom. And I forgot the entire segment, but I remember seeing Vince in a robe, in a judge robe, in a courtroom. And if it was like that, I think I actually would have enjoyed that segment a little bit more. But I just wanted it to be more of the Samoans in the ring. Like, it's a Raw 30th anniversary. Like, bring Rikishi back, bring a couple of others back. Hell, put Tamia in that bitch. I don't care. Bring them all back and let it be like them all judging Sami Zayn. Like, I think that would have been beautiful and awesome. I think that would have been really cool. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree with that. You know, maybe not the courtroom skit part of it. They might be pushing it, but at least having all the other Samoans in the ring as they, you know, do the judgment on Sami Zayn. Now, he was found not guilty. Roman did say he's going to have I can't remember if he said a final test or just a test at the Royal Rumble. So we're all curious to what that is going to be. I assume we're going to find a little bit more out on Friday Night SmackDown, but I'm not sure if Roman is going to be there, but I'm pretty sure the Bloodline is going to be there on SmackDown. So he's going to have his final test. He almost got his ass spiked to death, but Jey Uso slid in, protected him or whatnot like that. And then later on that night, Jimmy Uso got hurt in the tag team title defense against the Judgment Day, and which I hate that name. I like the group, but I hate the name. But Sammy helped them retain their tag team titles, and that was it. That was it on that. Outside of that, I mean, Brock came back. F5 Bobby Lashley, whatever his name is. Now, one thing that I'm intrigued about that I know this gonna happen, but they, I guess, waiting to pull the plug on it, but I'm excited that it's gonna happen, is I'm pretty sure Bobby Lashley is going to go back to the Hurt Business. MVP offered his assistance. Bobby declined it. I mean, peak Bobby. There's two peak Bobbies. Peak Bobby is MVP. and, in my opinion, Lio Rush. Now, he didn't really get to the certain plateau when he was with Lio Rush because Lio Rush had a lot of backstage heat and they nixed it very quickly. But when Bobby got a mouthpiece, Bobby is elevated. So he needs to be with the Hurt Business. I also think with the Hurt Business, they need to also just let Omos be in there because you're not doing nothing with the big fella. So let Omos be in the Hurt Business. That's just my personal opinion. Omos, Cedric, Shelton, and Bobby, of course. I seen some some fan made art with the Street Profits also, but nah. Like when Montez Ford go on his solo run, maybe Angelo Dawkins can consider it, but not the Street Profits as a team. But what else? Raw 30. I mean, of course, you had a lot of backstage people popping up. I mean, Hulk Hogan started the show off, and that was tragic already. Like, that's how you know. It's a lot of people saying like Triple H is just letting a lot of shit like go, like a lot of like mishaps, because Hogan's mic cut off in the middle of his promo. That was trash. I didn't want to see Hogan. I don't think anybody cared to see Hogan at all. Hogan and Jimmy Hart came out though. They did their little promo. Could have kept that. Ric Flair was there. He cut a promo and brought out his daughter. That was okay. If he didn't bring out Charlotte and he was just out there talking, I'd rather see Rick than Hogan, but I still didn't care. Excuse me. What else? Backstage, you had a slight APA reunion. I mean, of course, JBL was with Baron Corbin, but he had interaction with Farouk or Ron Simmons, whatever you want to call them. They were doing the classic APA poker game. Ted DiBiase was back. Just typical old guy. Just typical Raw. Ted DiBiase was there. Let's see, Ron Simmons. I can't remember this chick. She was a former champion, but I can't remember her name. She was there. Like nobody. A Godfather was there. But you know what? I really would love to see Godfather in the Royal Rumble, but I want him to come out with his hoes. They don't have to call them hoes. Just have him come out with a couple of nice looking women, and that's it. They don't have to call him a hoe, or they don't have to call him the pimp or anything. I just want that moment so bad. But outside of that, Raw 30, like I said, is what I expected it to be. And it was a decent show, you know. I'm trying to only outside of that, me adding more Samoans to the tribal court. Outside of that, that's really my only critique on it. Oh, and the Undertaker coming out as the Undertaker and not the American Badass. But that's it. But I still enjoyed the show. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And just let me know what you guys would have did to make the show better. But if you think the show was perfect, then just say, hey, the show was a 10 out of 10. Put it in the comments, let me know, and we're going to go on to the next segment. Let's go. Now it's time to get juicy. My brain said oozy, but it's time to get juicy. And we're going to talk about my predictions for the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. Now, I'm going to kind of go through what I believe is kind of like almost a criteria or a format, whatever you want to call it, of how they put people in the Hall of Fame. So this is what I wrote. And this is just me just kind of putting two and two together and going like how it's being, all right? So it's typically 2 single males, 1 tag team, a woman, and then like a non-wrestler, kind of like celebrity type of superstar that's always in the Royal Rumble. That's normally like how I see it. You know, sometimes they'll put faction stables in it, but that's normally how I see it. 2 males, a tag team, a woman, and a non-traditional or in-ring competitor. So I'm gonna save the best for last though. I'm gonna save my bona fide sure pick for last. And I'm gonna just give y'all just who I think is gonna be in the in the Hall of Fame. Now I'm gonna start off with the non-in-ring competitor wrestler. So, and I also looked at the Hall of Fame list to make sure I'm not gonna say people that's not in the Hall of Fame. Somebody that was extremely popular during the Attitude Era that I am really surprised that's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. Earl Hebner. Like, I'm really surprised. Like, there's only 2 referee names that is synonymous with WWE. 2 of them. And it's almost like similar to how Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler is like famous for their commentary. Like, these 2 guys is like, they did shit. Earl Hebner did. He was in matches. He did a hell of a lot of backstage promos. Earl Hebner was like the man. But Earl Hebner and Mike Chioda. I'm not saying Mike Chioda for the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying those are the 2 referee names that I just always attach to WWE. And I'm extremely surprised he's not in the Hall of Fame. They have a lot of ring announcers and a whole lot of other people in it, but he's not? Like, I gotta look more into it. Like, did he have some beef? I know at one point I saw him in TNA, or Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it. I seen him over there doing some business. So it's like, did he get fired, kicked out? Like, is there a reason? Because he the fucking GOAT when it comes to the referees in the wrestling industry, period. He's like top tier GOAT, but he is not in the Hall of Fame. So he is one of my predictions for the 2023 Hall of Fame class, Earl Hebner. All right. Number 2, we're going to go to the women. Now, on the woman side of it, it's kind of sketchy because there's a lot of women that's already in the Hall of Fame, and I really can't think of women pre-Attitude Era. And I tried to Google some but I'm still not really familiar with them. So I'm picking somebody from the Ruthless Aggression Era, since some of her Ruthless Aggression co-workers or colleagues or whatever you want to call them are already in it. So who is the equivalent to Tori Wilson? Who was her equal when they first came around the same time after WCW folded? And that's Stacy Keibler. Is not in the Hall of Fame. I actually loved her. I preferred her over Tori Wilson a lot of the times, but she is not in the Hall of Fame, and I think it's about time. I mean, Tori's there. There might be a few other women from the Ruthless Aggression Era that's in there too, so why not? I mean, do it while she's still kind of hot, you know. I want to see an old crippled lady climbing up on the stage, and then you can have Tori Wilson do, you know, her, you know, whatever, you know, Tori Wilson can bring her up. I don't know what it's called when you pick somebody to announce you, to bring you up on stage. I don't know what it's called. But Stacy Keibler, I think that's a pretty good, solid pick. Now, these are just my guesses, but when I get to my number 1, I know that person is going to be in the Hall of Fame. So coming up next is the tag team. Like I said, it's normally 2 single stars, a woman, a tag team, and a non-wrestler celebrity kind of thing. And that was Earl Hebner. So next is my tag team. This was a hard one too, because there's a lot, and I don't even think this tag team is going to be in there, but I had to put something down, and I think this is a good choice, but I don't think they're going to be in there, and I'll explain why. I said Too Cool. Like, they don't get enough credit of how popular they were during the Attitude Era, going into the Ruthless Aggression Era. They were extremely popular with Rikishi, who didn't want to do the worm, with Scotty 2 Hotty, Grandmaster Sexy, who didn't, if you grew up in that era, who didn't want to put the shades on, Rikishi go to like, who didn't do that? Like, who don't know the dance? Like, I think I can pull out the dance right now if I wanted to. Like, who don't know that? But I think because of the drug addiction and this is sad because there's so many people in the Hall of Fame that got fucked up past, but the drug addiction and the suicide of Grandmaster Sexy, I think because of that, who I met, by the way, and I met his dad, but I meet him all the damn time. But with the drug addiction and the suicide of Grandmaster Sexy, I don't think WWE wants to go that route with that type of publicity, especially in the middle of them trying to sell WWE. I don't think they want to go that route, but I think, in my personal opinion, Too Cool would be a great addition to the WWE Hall of Fame. Do it. I was gonna say do it while Scotty 2 Hotty is still in good health as well, and then just do a tribute to Grandmaster Sexy, aka Brian Christopher. I don't even know if they did some type of tribute when he passed away, but I'm not too sure. Um, next, now I picked. Now I think there's typically two single male stars that will get in the WWE Hall of Fame. Now there's a tie for, and this is not the big reveal that I'm going for, but there's a tie for who I think would be the second male, not the number one person. The tie. Now the first tie is I'm going to that Attitude Era / Ruthless Aggression Era. It's Al Snow. Did not know Al Snow was not in the WWE Hall of Fame, but he is a pioneer. Held that Hardcore Championship multiple times, made the Hardcore Championship what it is today. I mean, famously, he's known for talking to the head mannequin. Had a great catchy theme song. What do we want? Hey, like, it was so catchy. He was a fan favorite. He was kind of like, in my opinion, he was like a more charismatic, if that's how you say the word. Y'all know I'm slow. Like a more like charismatic Mick Foley almost, or Mankind. Like he was like that, but like just more like out there. Like he was just more out there. And then second, I didn't even know this guy was not in the Hall of Fame. He might be as a tag team, but not a solo star. Christian. Christian is not in the Hall of Fame. Edge is, of course, and I don't know if Edge and Christian is in the Hall of Fame as a tag team. If not, do the Edge and Christian for the tag team. If they are, put Christian in the Hall of Fame. He deserves it. Always been an underrated superstar, in my personal opinion. I've never been a Christian fan, but I acknowledge the fact that he is underrated. And now, number one guess that I am 1000% sure is going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. This is without dirt sheets, rumors. I have heard nobody talk about this, but I am so sure, and I've been sure for months, that they're going to be in the Hall of Fame. And I'll say this as well. I correctly also guessed the winner of the Money in the Bank of last year with Liv Morgan and Austin Theory. My guesses be so on point. I do this shit. So with that being said, I guarantee you the Samoan Bulldozer, Umaga, is going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. There's so many small nuances. That's a word that I cannot spell, and I'm hoping I'm using it in the right context. But there's so many, like, with the addition of Solo being able to use the Samoan spike to pay homage, and there's so much tribal stuff that's incorporated into the WWE storylines. Like and then I've been seeing a lot of Umaga content from WWE, like not from fan made shit. Like I've been seeing a lot of Umaga content from WWE within the past 2 months. This is without, like I said, but ain't nobody talking about it. Ain't nobody noticing that shit. Like it's been a lot of Umaga content, a lot of Umaga people paying homage to Umaga. The Samoan Bulldozer, I guarantee it, will be in the WWE Hall of Fame this year. And wrapping up episode number 2, I want to give a special thanks to every individual out there that decided to tune into me, helping our channel grow. Once again, though, this is an open invitation. If you want to be on this podcast and you are guaranteed to be on the episode, it is podcasttweener@gmail.com. That's TWEENER@gmail.com. You are guaranteed, as long as you keep it respectful and cool. We can debate, we can argue, we can kick it, we can play games, we can do whatever you want to do. You are guaranteed. This is a channel for the culture. You know the slogan: for us, by us. And I will see you at episode number 3. I'm out.